Hi folks, you're with Tacitus today, your pushback channel, and thank you for joining this audio live stream. In this essay, I'd like to talk about the kerfuffle and the furor over supposed racism and misogynistic patriarchy and yada yada in the game of chess. Now, the claim is, and this is gushingly reported by the Marxist, globalist controlled media, that chess is a hellscape of white supremacy, but how do we know it's white? How do we know it's misogynist and white supremacist and patriarch? How do we know that? Well, black lesbian chess players are not in the majority. That's how we know. That is the fucking determining criteria. And if you dispute that, okay, you tell me then. Are black lesbian chess players in the majority? They're not. Well, there you go. That proves they're all fucking fascist, fucking Nazis. Far right. Okay, so let's have a look at this. Now I've got I don't have a skin in the game, but I've got some experience in chess. I was in playing in the schoolboy championships back in the day, and did all right actually, and got to sort of district level, and was playing some pretty good guys. Turns out a guy who lived not far away, and somebody who knew him introduced me to him. He went to the international sort of grandmaster qualifier championships. He didn't make the cut in the end, but if he was going to the international thing there, he was pretty good. Anyway, I fancied, as a 14-year-old kid, I fancied myself as hot shit. So I thought I'll kick his ass a bit. And, and we played 50 games of chess, and he beat me 49 times. And then we had a stalemate, and I wondered whether he let me have that stalemate just so I could sort of go away from the table with some answers. Over a series of weeks we played these games, but he was really good, but anyway, so I sort of had something in the chess. Now the school chess club was open to anybody who wanted to turn up. It didn't matter what race you were or whether you were male or female, and a few girls turned up. I think more because they wanted to, especially the senior high school boys who were playing chess. I think some of the girls came along just to get noticed and have a bit of, flirt with some of the boys that they fancied. Although most of the chess players were pretty geeky. They were studious students anyway. So you didn't get outliers coming. You had the more studious kids from the very solid middle class families, and they were very well behaved, well mannered, well brought up type kids, So that was the typical thing. Now the school was 99.9% white, so everybody at the thing was white. But a few of the girls turned up. I don't think they were really serious about it. I got to play one girl, and I remember she sort of started giggling and said, "Oh, why can't you let me win?" No, that's not the object. Oh, why not? Why can't you let me win? And anyway, the girls got beaten a few times. If the guys that they fancied wanted to flirt with didn't sort of make a move on them, they were more concerned with the chess than with the girl, then they left. So pretty much, I think after the first few rounds or preliminary type things, all the girls had gone. So it was a purely guy thing after that. Even the district ones, there was no girls, and girls didn't show any interest in it. Now you could argue, well, girls should be encouraged to, they should be told that all the boys playing chess are actually just fascist Nazi Hitlers, and it's their duty to play chess to show these damn straight white Hitler boys that girls rule and girls are supreme, and that they're morally superior, and the girls, you're obligated to go and do that to bring down these damn fucking Nazis. Anyway, there was none of that back at the time, well, not that I recall. I remember a couple of the leftists. I remember the librarian teacher was I look back now, she was quite plainly a lesbian, and she was very much that girls should play chess and that boys should let the girls win in the interest of social equity. I remember her pushing that line back then, but we all thought it was such an idiotic crock of shit. We all thought she was crazy, this teacher. So no one took any notice and thought that anything that came out of her mouth was nonsense, which, by the way, it was. Anyway, so and going into the district championships and further up the food chain of chess, there wasn't a single girl there. There were some younger boys who were pretty good, and I remember having there was a primary school kid, like he must have been 10 years old, and at the time I was like 14 or 15, and I thought I'd knock this kid out with just a couple of moves, and actually it was I remember it was a really tight match. It was a close run thing. I mean, I beat him, but it was I was in a bit of a sweat about winning it. Who wants to get beaten by a 10-year-old kid? But I imagine he'd have had a bright future. He was pretty good. So anyway, there's no girls, but nor was there any racism or any exclusion. Nobody was being excluded. And I remember some brown kids in the district championships, because they came from schools all around Sydney. I remember some brown kids being, I never even thought about it. Well, if they're good enough to get there, they're good enough to get there. Thought didn't cross my mind that they should be excluded anyway. Again, it was purely merit-based. There was nothing, certainly that I saw, nothing in there that was exclusionary to minorities. I mean, if you were good enough to get to the tournament, you were good enough, and that was it. So purely merit-based, and I never thought otherwise. Anyway, today times are different. So it's been noticed by the globalist hate on white people flock that white people, particularly white men, straight white men no less, are in the majority in the chess games, and not only at local and regional level, but also at or particularly at the upper level, like grandmaster and the elite level of chess. That they're 98%. I mean, it was only when the chess sort of tournament started introducing pretty much affirmative action mandatory wave through that they started to get brown and black women into the more or the upper levels of the chess tournaments. But I don't know how much of that is rigged or fixed. But anyway, but even I went. A few years ago, I suppose 5+ years ago, I went to the local. I am denied about taking up chess again. So I went to the local, like there's a sort of a chess club. I think it's part sponsored by the local council or something. And the local council had very keen rule. You had to have a lot of minorities there, otherwise they wouldn't fund it. So you had the ridiculous thing where the management of the chess club were desperately trying to get any non-white, non-male person just to turn up, just so they could still get this partial council government funding. So I think the funding really gave them a premises to use for free for 3 hours once a week. I don't think it was any cash handouts or anything. Nonetheless, even to do that, the council were insisting that you've got to have your proportion of black lesbians turning up or else. So, which really is in any wherever the government at any level is involved now, and they openly go to things like martial arts clubs and sort of, we'll subsidise you, but you have to have 50% of your people must be 50% of the people here must be minorities, otherwise no dice, no money, and so they forced the issue. There's nothing natural or meritorious about it. So anyway, came back to the so I went to the chess club there, and there was one woman there, and so I assumed, oh, maybe she's a chess player. No, she's the wife of a guy who's there, so she likes to come along, and so she sat there sort of knitting, I think, while he was doing the chess. So there was still no women doing it at this local chess club, but they did have some brown people out there, which gave them they filled up their quota of minorities just from brown men, and there was an extra plus if the brown man couldn't speak English very well or at all. That was highly prized by the local council, apparently. So even today, women just aren't participating. they're just not going along. So this idea that it's a racist thing, or it's misogynistic, or it's exclusionary to women, or this or that, is absolute utter bullshit. These things are open to anybody, and particularly in Australia, the councils are gagging to get anyone who's non-white and non-male along to these things. So with all sorts of threats to withdraw any support if there aren't black and brown people or minorities at these chess clubs. So there's absolutely no exclusion at all going on. There are people that are self-excluding. They just don't want to go. And, you know, there's some friends of ours, the wife went along to in her area, went along to a chess club because she kind of wanted to get involved in it a bit. And, you know, it doesn't take much to turn these people off. She lost every game and was quite sort of, because not winning the chess game to her was the equivalent of an exam where a strictly pass or fail, which she doesn't like. You know, I don't like the strictly pass or fail type situation. You know, you win or you lose. You know, I thought it would be, well, when it's a chess game, what do you think it's going to be? Do you think there's sort of somehow a middle course where there's no winning or losing? I mean, how did you perceive it when you went? Oh, I just thought it'd be fun, and the guys just cared about winning, and so she just didn't want to go. She got beaten a few times and didn't want to go. So I said, well, would it have made a difference if you'd won? And said, oh, yeah, you know, I suppose. It's all right then. Well, then what you need to do is get better at playing chess. That's what you need to do. If you're not going to, or won't continue to go to the chess club because you're losing, but you would stay if you're winning, then you need to get better at playing chess to the point where you do win. Oh, it's hard work. I don't know. I have to apply myself. I have to really work hard at it. I don't want it. I wanted it to be fun, and it's not fun, so I'm not going to go anymore. So women are self-excluding. There's no exclusionary thing going on here at all, whether it be for race or gender. So this whole thing that they're beating up is that straight white men are a majority. Oh, Hitler, far right, racism. And they've got the public so bamboozled, and they're so willing to come out with this insane propaganda that simply because straight white men are the majority, that it must be some sort of incredible racist hellscape. Or a misogynist hellscape, and something must be done. We must do something. Hitler is in charge. Hitler, we have to stop Hitler. And so they're getting themselves in a lather over this. But I can speak from personal experience. There is no exclusion whatsoever of any type. Certainly not in any of the clubs that I'm aware of, and certainly not in my time at high school. As I say, in the district championships, I remember brown, not black, I don't remember any black, but certainly brown guys turning up, and I didn't even think twice about it. Some of them were quite good. As the whole process moved up the food chain, then the whole thing became more and more white. So you know, when you were looking at the really good players, as I recall, they were all white, all boys, of course. I don't imagine any of them were gay. That might have been, I suppose, but yeah. So there was that. But given the ability to plan and think ahead and think super logically, and to think with mathematical precision, that you're going to find more guys who are competent at that level. And so it's not surprising that the elite level are nearly all straight white men. That's nothing to be surprised about. But the social equity, equal outcomes, affirmative action, quotas brigade that are there for the sole purpose of destroying and undermining Western civilization, a civilization built on merit, then they're determined to destroy that merit wherever they may find it. And chess is just their latest target. You've been with Tacitus today, your Pushback channel. Thank you for listening.